Hey everyone, and welcome to Satisfactory News. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of feeling betrayed and lied to by Coffee Stain Studios. First, they told us there would never be pipes in the game, and then in Update 3, they dropped pipes on us in the most dramatic video that has ever been created about pipes. And now, for Update 7, we got an incredible, epic trailer, which has now been revealed to be something that was never supposed to be in the game. Blueprints. Okay, in all seriousness, this announcement is awesome, and it's as shocking and exciting as when pipes were officially announced. It's exciting to hear that the developers found a way to incorporate into the game something that was previously not compatible with their intentions for it. And at this point, maybe it shouldn't be a shock. Even though straight up copying and pasting entire megafactories is not something that the devs want for Satisfactory, some of the tedium of building large factories was taken out with the introduction of Zoopin. You couldn't make a crazy 50 by 50 grid of foundations in the blink of an eye, but you could create 10 foundations in a line, which really helped speed up the building process in a way that still felt fair. The implementation of blueprints feels much like the zooming function, in that it's definitely helpful, but it does not fundamentally change the game and turn it into something that it's not. So let's go into how blueprints are going to work. It's pretty simple, actually. Blueprints are made in a new machine called the Blueprints Designer. It's basically a 32-meter cube, and you can build in this cube. So you can just build your factory, then save that as a blueprint to use later. The 32-meter cube limit is definitely pretty small though. In the announcement video, Snut creates a simple manifold using 8 constructors, and it looks like this is pretty much the limit for the ground space. And you don't even get a lot of vertical space either, so you can't build a giant tower. I'm sure some people will be disappointed that they can't make more complicated factories in this machine, but it's better than having no blueprints at all, and it should take out the tedium of creating basic factory layouts over and over and over again. I'm really happy with how the function of saving blueprints seems. It creates a system much like the build menu, with different categories and subcategories. In Snut's examples, he has categories like platforms and construction, and then in his construction category, you can have subcategories for iron systems, copper systems, or really any way you want to sort it. It's all customizable. Using the blueprints is basically like normal building. When you select it from the blueprints menu, just like from the build menu, the hologram will appear in your world and you can place it down. It's like making a giant building. And like anything else in your build menu, you can assign blueprints to the hotbar, which is awesome. If you want to create a new blueprint that's similar to an existing one, you can load up the blueprint in the Blueprint Designer, make the needed changes, then save a new blueprint. You don't need to start from scratch every time. Here are a few notable things about blueprints that were mentioned in the video. Obviously, you need the materials to build things from your blueprints, just like if you were constructing it normally. You won't be able to build one thing at a time. It's all or nothing, so you need all the materials. As of this video, there are some buildings like coal generators whose hitboxes don't fit in the bounds of the Blueprint Designer. Some buildings are going to be adjusted in order to fit because Coffee Stain intends for them to be usable, but others will never be usable inside the designer. That being said, you couldn't really fit much in here along with a nuclear plant, so you'd never use certain buildings anyways, even if you could. Recipes and power shards and clock speed will be saved in a blueprint, and those power shards will be factored into the cost when you're constructing it. This is a pretty big deal, that it's not just buildings, and it's also recipes and clock speed. But that's not to say you can't also just make a manifold like Snut made in the video and input your recipes once you build your factory in the world. While the developers are going to look into ways to make the process more pleasant, putting down a blueprint incorrectly is going to be a pain. If you place an entire blueprinted factory and it's not aligned how you want it to be, you won't be able to deconstruct the whole thing in just one selection, as every component will turn into an individual building once it's in the world. So until there's a solution for that, be careful with your placement or you're going to be wasting a lot of time. Making factories with the Blueprint Designer is going to be great, of course, but we'll also be able to use it to create repeatable cosmetic patterns. So if you have a wall design you really like, you can add that to your hotbar. Blueprints also work in a unique way when it comes to your save files. Blueprints are actually their own save file, not tied to your game itself. You can send blueprint files to your friends, and as long as they've unlocked everything used in that blueprint, it will be usable in their game. You just have to copy it out of your folder and send it to your friend, and they can copy it into their folder. Unfortunately, these files don't sync with the cloud, so if you play on multiple machines or you need to reinstall your game, You'll want to use some third-party cloud storage tool to back up these items. You should go watch this part of Snut's video to get the full details on how best to use these files, because you probably don't want to accidentally delete them. Alright, that's the basics of the Blueprints Designer. It's a pretty straightforward tool, but with a lot of caveats and a lot of potential. Let me know in the comments what blueprints you're excited to create, and I'll see you in the next Satisfactory News video.